Hello, my name is Gerald Espinoza, Clinical Specialist for Planmeca USA. Today's topic, Guidelines for Success. Some of the topics that we can discuss are going to be prep guidelines, retraction devices, and tissue management. And we'll go through these three topics that can really make you successful and get you up and running when implementing the system. Let's start off by talking about preparation guidelines. Preparation guidelines are based on the material and the type of restoration. For most all ceramic full coverage restorations, we can follow the guidelines pictured here, and I'll discuss that in just a minute. For different materials and restorations, please follow the manufacturer's recommendation guidelines. For posterior restorations, we always want to see rounded internal angles. We want to see a occlusal reduction of 1.5 to 2 millimeters. Axial walls, we want to see 1 to 1.5, and we want to see 1 millimeter at the margin. A heavy chamfer, shoulder, or butt joints, we want to see a 6 to 10 degree taper on our preparations. Anterior restorations, facial and lingual reduction of 1 to 1.5, incisal reduction 1 to 2 millimeters, and 1 millimeter along the margin. Again, 6 to 10 degrees taper, chamfer or shoulder margin. Prep should follow 3-plane reduction based on natural anatomical shape. Some of the tools that you can use for the preparations are, things like bite tabs. There's several on the market, some that even have a spray on it. Literally, the patient would bite and open. Marks where you're under reduced, not only on the prep, but on the opposing tooth. Here, these ones you slide through, so if you have the resistance, you need to reduce a little bit more. Another tool is the reduction rings. These are gauged as well as the tabs. If you can't slide it through the prep and the opposing tooth, you're under reduced. You could actually lay this over your margin as well to see if you have that millimeter modified shoulder or chamfer. The burr kits, they're phenomenal. I get this question a lot of what type of burrs to use for the preparations. These are common burrs that you would use for all ceramics. They just decided to put those together in a kit for you for ease of use. Your full restoration prep kit, veneer prep kit, inlays and onlays prep kit, and you could ask your supplier for those. Premier has made the milling tools for our system since the beginning. They're the ones that also put together the prep kits for you. Here, they've created a ceramic success kit that'll teach you a 3-step process to be successful. This is an easy process to follow. The first step, we'll talk through the preparations. Selecting the correct burr to prepare your preparation with predictable results. Step 2 is retraction, proper tissue management, and hemostasis. They make a product called Traxident. They also make the nip pack cord, and they will talk through a double cord technique. Step 3, adjust and polish the ceramics. If they need adjustments, they'll talk through how to get a nice glossy surface on that after the adjustments. Let's talk through some techniques for tissue management. I think my first preference is always laser. It takes care of that real floppy tissue that comes up over your margin. It'll take care of that real fibrous tissue on the distal of a second molar. So that's my preferred method if there's a laser in the office. My second preference is a double cord technique using a dark first 00. Place that into the sulcus and then a larger second cord. Leave that in, and then I will pull the top cord, leaving that first dark cord in there, and that dark cord will give you a nice contrast with that HD overlay that we have in our software. So that's a great technique. And then there's the retraction paste. There's several on the market. Premier makes a great product along with 3M. Traxident is a natural clay, has a hemostatic agent in it. So when it has some resistance using that Compra cap, it'll push the tissue away. It will have that hemostatic agent in there. The 3M retraction capsule. Again, another great product. People love this because of the small little tip that you could place that material right into the sulcus. Again, use a Compra cap. Both these materials need some resistance to push the tissue back. Retraction devices. These are phenomenal, aid you in intraoral scanning. The first one is optra-gate by Ivoclar Vivadent. Great for retraction of the cheek and the lips. We will almost always use this for full arch, not to say you can't use it on those single unit posteriors to help you out. The other one is Comfort View by Premier. Great in retracting the cheeks and the lips for intraoral scanning. The other one is LinguaFix, made by Zurich Dental. Another great product. This is the one that's going to retract that tongue out of the way for intraoral scanning. This will hook onto your Slovak section and lock underneath the patient's chin, retracting that tongue during intraoral scanning. So please have those handy. Tissue management is important. Whether we're taking a traditional PVS impression or we're moving into the digital age, we need to get things ideal before we start taking that impression. You need about 1 millimeter of separation or opening of the sulcus. In this photo, it looks like we have that. Great tissue management, except that we have a little bit of bleeding prior to scanning. So some of the products, again, usually double cord. If you have one cord in there, that still controls that. If you use a retraction paste, great to take care of the hemostasis prior to scanning. We're going to talk through a technique that uses a custom Compra cap. Like I said, the retraction paste, no matter what retraction paste you're using, needs some resistance to push that tissue away. So many times I go into an office and they use a folded 2x2. Again, that's not going to give the material resistance to push the tissue away. Might take care of the hemostasis, but it's not going to get you the retraction you need. Step 1, here we're going to place some bite registration over the preparation to cover both the buccal and lingual surfaces. We want to cover that entire tooth with our material. Step 2, we simply just have the patient bite and hold till it sets. Go ahead and remove that and put it aside. Step 3, place the track stent around the preparation. This can go over a first cord. So if you happen to place one, but you don't like that double cord technique, this replaces that second cord. Step 4, place the Compra cap over the preparation and have the patient bite down and hold for 3 to 5 minutes. Step 5, remove the custom cap, rinse really well, and scan in the preparation. This has been Gerald Espinoza. Thanks for watching Guidelines for Success.